Welcome back, everybody. As you can maybe tell, I upgraded some of the podcast equipment. The video quality already looks much better, so I'm feeling really good about it, and hopefully, it'll be a good experience for all of us. So, one of my discussions that I've had with somebody earlier just really got me thinking about the whole idea of like a wage and the way that wage has been stagnated in this country the past probably 2 or 3 decades at least, just to start. But, Trump and Kamala and Biden, the last election, they had a lot of debating back and forth over taxes, over how much small businesses should have to pay, how much corporations should have to pay in taxes. And I'm not sure if a lot of you own businesses or you paid attention to how some of this works, but at the end of the year, generally a small business or a corporation, rather than having to pay out a lot of taxes, they will go and buy a lot of new equipment or other things that they can write off for the company. And yeah, that is a good thing because it stimulates the economy, it causes them to go and buy other things from other companies, and that's why the government allows them to do a write off. But I got to thinking, why can't they write off a wage increase? Why is it that when the Democrats want to threaten to raise the corporate tax, rather than do that, they meet in the middle with a lot of Republicans, if the Republicans would even be on board with something like this, to say that every percentage that we don't tax you, corporate tax, small business tax, that percentage you have to give your employees a raise. All of your employees, let's say that make less than 150,000. Everybody in the company that makes less than 150,000, especially for a corporation, that's a big one. The executives don't need any more money. They pay themselves plenty. So all the regular 9 to 5 employees that are not salary, hourly generally, let's say if you wanted to go up on the corporate tax by 10%, rather than do that, why don't you just tell them, hey, give all of your employees a 10% raise? And then it's obviously going to a good place because the government has proven time and time again to not be good stewards of our tax money. They do not spend our money in a very efficient, smart way, and we end up just being in more and more debt. So, after thinking about it a lot, I think one of the ways that you actually fix the economy and fix the middle class is by paying us more money at the end of the day. And you don't do this by printing more money. You don't give everybody a bunch of stimulus checks and say, okay, well, here's your bonus. No, that just made everything cost more money. So what I'm saying is rather than going to buy a new truck for the company, rather than the Democrats, let's say, getting voted into power and they decide, okay, we're going to raise the corporate tax rate, we're going to raise the small business tax rate. How about instead of doing that, you actually make it to where they can write off wage increases? You trade off tax increases for wage increases. Because Democrats used to support things like labor unions, a lot of workers' rights, fair pay, and all that stuff just got eroded away because corporate interests started buying out both parties. So somebody has got to really look out for the working man and woman. I mean, we've got to fix it because wage stagnation is a serious issue. Because here in the state of Tennessee specifically, housing is up 170% in cost, and wage is only up 78% in the last 20 years. So we have got to do something about that. Rather than going to buy, $100,000 worth of new equipment at the end of the year, maybe give all your employees a bonus, maybe pay all of them a couple more dollars an hour. They take that home to their family. It stimulates the economy much more than just giving Ford $100,000. And if the government is trying to take the money in taxes anyway, I don't trust that they're efficient to spend it. Like I said, I would rather me take that money home at the end of the day, rather than them take it from my boss and the company. I would rather me go home with it. I can put it towards my life, my family. I can put it towards prosperity. When if you give it to the government, they end up giving it to somebody like Ukraine or somebody that's defrauding Medicare. So, I probably upset some people with that last one, but there's a lot of holes in the system. A lot of stuff needs to be addressed. We waste a lot of money. And I think rather than arguing over how much these corporations and business should pay in taxes, more taxes, less taxes, give us some more money. That would fix a lot because you have a wealth gap worse than the Gilded Age. People don't think that because regular people like me, you like we have laptops, we have microwaves, we have homes, we have cars. Yeah, I mean, that's a quality of life for sure. That's nice to have all of those things. But people like Elon Musk and people like Jeff Bezos have got so much more wealth than we do that the gap in wealth is actually bigger than it was during the Gilded Age in the late 1800s. So it's just something to think about, guys. They try to distract you with all this left and this right and this more tax, less tax. Let's just ask for more wage because that's the only thing that really hasn't gone up. Yeah.